Good morning, Warriors. Back with another episode of Vigor Warriors 2 and the 1% Club. Hope you guys are doing well. I always appreciate great comments, and you guys are doing a tremendous job. We're going to do a couple of them today. I think we're going to start with this one first, and then probably do another one later today of some sort. I'm going to try to do two. I'm off for a week or so after during Christmas and New Year's, so I think I'm going to try to do a few of these to try to catch up a little bit. You guys a lot of great comments, as we talked about the last couple of days, and I want to continue doing this. One of the comments that I had, and I'm going to kind of focus on here, Mr. Sandman talking about 1%. And, I use that term because I believe that it's kind of the lowest number we can find, right? I'm not sure how many people, to be honest with you, and I don't have any scientific research. I'm not sure if there's any done yet on this, but how many people are actually, holding on and not releasing. I do think it's growing, though I can't tell you exactly how. I use the 1% term because it's the lowest number that you can really come up with as a whole number. So I say we're part of the 1% Club because we have to grow. And so we're not at the point where it's anything that's really noticeable, but hopefully it will continue to grow and continue to grow. So I think that, it's a good question, but just to kind of clarify a little bit, the 1% Club really is just the lowest number of people we are moving, trying to move up, but we're still a long way to go. And that's the whole thing. And the battle is there. And so one of the topics we're going to talk about today, first of all, thank you for the comments, likes, please donate, those type of things. I try to put donation on most of the videos. I don't always put it on there, but you should see it at some of the videos if you really are interested. And I appreciate everybody who's been doing that, and I thank you very much with that. So we'll continue on. So the thing we're going to talk about today, and it's related to what we just talked about a second ago, is looking at information that's going to help you. Now, last two I've done kind of talked about women's attraction. It talked about different sorts of things that we look at when it comes to cutting out the wrong people, not having a lot of people that you're going to kind of waste energy on. This one is now, we're going to talk about nocturnal emissions and semen retention. And there's several people commenting on this. So again, SAMxBT, Create, Heal, Inspire, Jon the Dawn, and Ryan Hill. Thank you guys very much for your comments. And also, by the way, before I do that, I should go back and a little bit of shout outs. I always try to do at least 10 of these each day. So shout outs today to Bing Daris, Tusher, Tekken Gadgets. Thank you, my friend. And Eduardo, thank you for the Thai comment the other day. I appreciate that. Josh Holmes, thank you. Mike Borgic. Create, Heal, Inspire, which we had another comment today on. Good. And Indigio Sage. And so thank you guys very much. You're talking about one with having, intercourse with your wife and things like that. That's something we'll talk about on another one. But the idea is that you really, there's no reason why you can't have a sexual drive. It's very important. We move as animals, and I call it all of us species. We have to have that drive. Now, how you use that is up to you. And certainly what you really want to do is you want to use that and transmute that. Because if it's not transmuted, then it's kind of wasted and eventually will go away. And I think the thing that you really want to do, and you get frustrated and upset, and then you're going to look for places to release, and now you're down that same old path that we've talked about before. But having a wife that has a high sexual energy is great. And we'll talk about this a little bit too. I'll actually do one later on about how you should really, you should not hate women. I mean, women are wonderful. There's a lot of great things to women. Women should be respected. Now, you should not put them on a pedestal, and that may be a topic for another day. You shouldn't put them on a pedestal. However, you should have a lot of respect for them, and they're trying in their own ways to do the things that God gave them. So they should be, you should love them, you should respect them. But what we're saying is that you're really kind of giving up your identity with them, and that's something you should not do. The same thing when it comes to pictures and things like that. You should not do that because you're giving up your basic natural energy and your masculinity at the same time. So when we talk about this whole thing, and I guess the key is to kind of look at this from a larger perspective. Now, yes, I will go on here and I will talk about when I reach a certain point in time. And I think I have to go back to my cards here and look at this. But I'm at, let's see, 9, 10, 20, 30, 32 days. So 932. Monk mode's at about 150, 160, something like that. And that sort of thing. So you're at about no energy, no fat would be about 932 days. Now, the only reason I keep that card is only because I want, as a frame of reference, to look at the benefits of how I experience it at a certain point, so I can communicate that to you. This really, and we've had lots of people talk about it over time, this is really a lifestyle change. And when people say to me, well, you know, should you count, should you not count? Really, guys, this is a lifestyle thing. And so really, it's not, if you release, well, that's what happens. You just go ahead and start again. You know that this is something that's important. So when you have a nocturnal emission, for instance, and we've, like I said, several people have kind of talked about this, you're really kind of talking about the idea that, you know, something happened, you had a dream at night, something happened, and those things will happen. But the key is, do you then follow it up with going back and looking at pictures and, you know, releasing? You know, I think we had one comment talking about, well, is everybody releasing all the time? Well, it seems like the world, this is what's happening in the world, right? Everybody's releasing because they think it's a healthy thing to do. And I will push back on that a great deal now, because after 3 years, almost 3 years of this stuff, I can tell you that it's not. I mean, I'm healthier now than I've ever been before. But the thing is, nocturnal emissions are things that are going to happen. Now, what can you do? Well, certainly you can go to bed earlier. You could try to keep your mind off of things. But those type of things are going to happen because you have energy. You have sexual energy. And males need to have that because you need to have that to procreate. And those are the types of things that are important to look at. Those are important things of making you a male. Now, how you use that energy is the key to this whole thing. And when we talk about this, it's important to know, how are you using your energy? Are you transmuting this? Okay? Are you really going ahead and using this for benefit down the line? Or are you just kind of wasting it? Or you're just sitting there not doing anything with it? It's just sitting there. And this is why we talk about this as an important type of thing. So we look at this whole idea of nocturnal emissions. It's not really a matter of days. It's nice to use that as a barometer. I know some people do that, especially when they're in a point now where they're really struggling with this, like I did for 40 some years. Having a count is okay to start with. Now, like I said, I do it more for reasons just to kind of have, types of points, the videos, you can kind of see, well, this is where this is at, this is what's happening, and I can kind of explain what the feelings I'm having and the things I'm going through at this point. But we talk about the counting of days. There is no, if I didn't have a card, I would not know when I started. I may have remembered a date I started way back in, 2.5 years ago, but I would not remember it because it's not that important. I guess that's the key to it. It's not that important because the idea is that you are changing your life. And so when you have nocturnal emissions or you have a release of some sort, just keep in back your mind, well, this is not that important at this point. Don't get discouraged. Don't get down. Those things happen. And you're going to have those sides. The evil one is a dangerous character. They're gonna put in temptation all over the place. We talked about that in the last video. But the thing is, what you have to do is you have to realize that this is a life choice you've made now. And so you just go back on the streak. But remember, the energy is important to have. You have to have sexual energy. And Kendler, and by the way, I'm going to show this book. Now, where's my book at? Let's see here. I'm going to show the book. So for those, again, this is the Fountain of Youth book that I always talk about. It's Peter Kelder. I probably said Kendler, but Kelder. Okay? And it's called Fountain of Youth, Ancient Secrets. There's a couple different versions. This was done back in the 1940s and 50s, and I think has been reprinted several times. So we're going to go through some of these exercises at some point on a video here. And I promise it's for 6 months, so I will get to it now that I have a little extra time to do things. But the thing is that this is a lifestyle change. You are making a change saying, okay, God has given me this energy. I am now going to use this to accomplish things to help serve His purpose. And when you're doing that, all of a sudden now, these type of things are not as important on a day-to-day basis. And I keep emphasizing that because I know some of you guys get down and some of you guys say, okay, well, this has happened now, now I can't come back. Well, think of it this way. If you have 100 days and you released, that's 100 days more positive than you would have had. So then think to yourself, okay, I made 100, now I can start a new streak and then go past 100. Like at monk mode, I was at about, 200 or something like that. And then I broke it. And then I have to go back on it. So I'm back in 160 days and we'll see how far I go. But the thing is that you have to have mechanisms to be able to control yourself and to learn how to control yourself. So if you have to sit there and say, okay, day by day, I'm going to count this, that's going to help motivate you, then by all means do that. But I will tell you after a certain point in time, in my experiences at least, that the days won't matter anymore. Because you're doing this as a habit, and this is what you should be doing. You should not be releasing. Now, I think as you get older, you can handle yourself more. You deal more with controlling yourself, and I think you're going to be able to do that better. When you're younger, it's very hard. You have a lot of energy, sexual energy running through yourself, a lot of testosterone. Those type of things are important to have, but what you have to do is be able to kind of move those things to the point where you are accomplishing something. You're not just sitting around. This is why chasing women around is the worst thing you can do. Women will come after you with that energy. I've had so many comments about this. Women staring at them even though they have boyfriends right next to them. They just can't get away from that energy because they sense it. They know you're a man. They know you're a man compared to, I would say, 99% of people in the world. We go back to Mr. Sandman's comment. I'll probably do a video on that, by the way, too. I think it's a good point. But the thing is that there's very few of us that really adhere to this and stay with it. We're listening too much to the media and everything else around us saying to us, well, you should be releasing all the time. But you can just tell how people react to you when you're not releasing. You could tell that aura, you could tell that feeling that you have. And those type of things are very important to have. And as you do that, then you're able to kind of look at yourself and say, look, I'm on the right track. If I release, that happens, just go right back on. So in Nocturnal Emissions, I think one of the questions that a few people had as well is, do you count that? And I'm going to look and see my hand. Do you count that as part of your streak? Well, once again, as I say this a lot, I'm not really focusing on the number of days. I think I have my cat going in the background again there. Thor, I call him as Thor. Go to sleep, Thor. Go to sleep. So the thing is that I don't count every days. I just don't. Because the thing is that as you go through this, you're focusing on a lifestyle type of change. This is something you're going to do the rest of your life. And if you're committed to it, and this is what Keller says in his book, if you're committed to it, then you can become superhuman. And I think there was a comment in the quote here. Maybe I can pull it up real fast here while we're talking. But yeah, you have to be able to do that. And I may be able to find it here real fast. But if you're ready for it, that's when you're going to be ready for it. Okay? All right? Let's see. Yeah, I think it's more of a case of trying to find. Yeah, I'll look at it more. I think I have it here, but I want to make sure I'm reading it the right way. We'll take a look at it more maybe the next time. But the idea, guys, is that when you're focusing on this, you have to be ready to take this on as a lifestyle change. So nocturnal emissions, those things will happen to you. Keeping count, you can keep count if it helps you, motivate you. I had to do this at the beginning because I had so many years of relapsing back and forth. But if you're able to find mechanisms for you to help yourself not do it, that's the best thing to do. And if you feel like you're coming over with something, go do something. Get yourself busy so that you're not focusing and thinking about women or thinking about pictures and things like that. So as we talk about this important thing is that people ask me what can you lose your count in days and things like that. And certainly when I talk about this, I think we all have different parameters. When you're in monk mode, that means you're not thinking about it, you're not focusing on it a lot, those type of things. And that's probably going to end up being a challenge for me a lot more like it used to be with the losing of energy and fapping and all that kind of stuff in the past. That's why I struggled so much in the past releasing. It's going to be the same way with monk mode because it's very difficult to subdue a tremendous energy level you have. And I've been blessed or cursed, depending on how you look at it, with having a tremendous sexual energy pattern. And I've joked about that for years. The thing about it is that you have to realize it's good and bad. God's given it to you to do certain things, like I have 3 children, and that's all great and wonderful. But it also can lead you into temptation, different things that are not so good either. So many of you young people out there have that tremendous energy. You have to be responsible again, like Spider-Man says, right? Great power comes great responsibility. But the thing is that you have to realize that you're making a commitment here. You're committing to something. Now, I didn't commit to this for many years, so I know. I did certain exercises, like in this Kendler book. I did certain exercises, but I did not do that last one. And that last one was actually the one that you're actually going ahead and using celibacy combined with transmutation. And you're transmuting everything up so that even though it starts the chakra in your reproductive area, you're moving that energy up so the rest of your body can get nourished that way. That I wasn't doing that for many years, up until 3 years ago. And then that was it, 2.5 years ago. Okay? So the thing is that you have to realize that as you're looking at this, the important thing is that you're making a choice here. And so the counting, that's up to you. Like I said, the only reason I do it is because of the channel, just to keep kind of where we're at. And I want to see how far I want to go with this and see, what happens with it. But like I said, monk mode, I don't really keep track. I don't tell you that much about monk mode because I haven't been able to keep control of it, to be honest with you. And, we'll see how far. I'm at 150 days, but we'll see how far we can get with that. But it kind of builds habits on habits, and that's what you got to realize. So the important thing to realize, again, is that this is a lifestyle change. And we're talking about things that happen to you, dreams, things at night that happen to you. Those things will happen because you have such a high sexual energy. And God knows that. God realizes He gave you that energy. But He will also give you ways to handle it and to try to work with it so that you're able to still accomplish His goals and your goals at the same time. Just give yourself over to Him in many ways, not only this way, but in many ways, and to kind of say, okay, God, this is really, what is your purpose? What am I supposed to be doing here? Now, God gives you a tremendous sexual energy because you can accomplish things that way. Just think of animals and things like this. All species are very similar in many regards. If you cut off the sexual drive of animals, fixing them and things like that, they become very docile. They lose all their energy. All their energy is coming from those types of things and creating that energy. And that's what you have to realize as a human being the same way. And so as you think about this, it's important to realize that if you don't use your energy, it's going to dissipate in many ways. You may actually get frustrated and upset because you just become so aggressive, you don't know how to channel that. You don't know how to channel that energy. And that's important to be able to do. So I want to shout out again to SAMxBT, Create, Heal, Inspire, Jon the Dawn, and Ryan Hill for great comments talking about wet dreams, nocturnal emissions. The final thing I would say, guys, is that the idea that you really want to focus on is not, it's nice to motivate yourself by looking at, I got 100 days, I got 50 days, I got 200 days. That's great. Keep doing that if it's going to help you motivate. But in long-term situation, my recommendation to you guys is don't think about the number of days anymore. Just realize this is a lifestyle change and all the benefits you're seeing, and they will come. And they will come. Some take longer than others, depending on how long you've been a streak, depending how much is in your mind still thinking about this? Because you think about this, guys, think about this. You might be stopping NoFap like I'm talking about, but in your mind, you're still thinking about things. Those memories are with you. And if you live as long as I have, it's 61 years, you're going to have lots of memories of women. And so those are hard. You can't drain those. Those come back at certain times, and all of a sudden now you're stuck. So for younger guys, this is a great time to start all of this, because you don't have as many memories as someone like myself, who's got lots of memories of this stuff. And it is what it is. But the thing is, you can start at some point. Anybody can start this process. And like I said, I feel like $1 million right now compared to the way I used to feel. And I think the key is you got to keep yourself not only doing exercises, working out, taking cold showers, but the main thing you got to do is learn self-discipline, and control yourself when it comes to retention. That's a key thing to me to set the foundation. All these other things you can do with success, but you got to get the first step, and that's controlling your basic nature to the point where at least you can say, okay, God, I'm controlling this. I'm only doing this in the ways you want me to do this at certain times. And so let's do other things like lifting and working out, exercising, handling my finances, all those other kind of things that come along with it. All right, my friends. Well, thank you so much again today. Hope you guys have a great day. And every day is a new day to a wise warrior. God bless you guys, and battle on.